as the last day's class is concerned, or even if you have difficulty, things will get simplified. Like if you can just take up one numerical example, and we will just try to find out. You need to have a calculator in front of you also. Maybe if you are comfortable with your mobile phone calculator, that's also fine, but calculator, pen and paper, because we'll do it in pen and paper. Fine. So we have over here, can all of you see my screen? Can anybody, Man, can you please confirm
Yes,
that
sir. Yes, sir.
is it
Yes,
visible?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, visible, fine. So fine, we will start off with this example 1.60. Now, this is a delta network. Obviously, you can see this is a delta network with three resistances given as 5 ohm, 10 ohm, and 3 ohm respectively. So with this delta value, we can actually, like find out the star combination, or rather the star configuration. So what are the resistive values? One is the 5, 10, and 3. So if I can just pull up my paint screen, and if I just draw it, why it's a pi network is a delta network, you understand, na? This is a pi network. This is a pi network. I am not writing the values over here. Why pi network is called a delta network? Because of the fact that this is something, this point is something, the ground point, and it's no point you make a difference between these 2 points, or rather you can just redraw it in this way also. It's all the same, because ground point, you put it anywhere, it's all the same. So this is makes no difference. Understood? So that is why, like a pi network is also called a delta network. Is this clear with everyone? The delta, the potential, the potential in the ground, it will be same everywhere. So it doesn't matter we put it here or you put it here or you put at the same point, so makes no difference basically. So it is the one and the same point. So this is why you can say that a pi network is also called a delta network, because it resembles that of a delta. I believe it's clear with everyone, right? Now we will move on to the problem. Is this clear? Can anyone can confirm? Anyone? Bimbayan maybe? Bimbayan, is this clear to you? Bimbayan? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, clear. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay. Okay, it's clear. Fine. So I will
Yeah.
just, I mean, when I'm saying that you, any one of you can just respond so that I can understand. Then I can actually move on to the next part. So let us take the, let us go for the example. Then. So we have let me rub it out. By this time you have the pen and paper. I have already shared the, try to understand. You make mistakes, that's no problem, fine, but try to understand as I go on, because in the examination you will come across different values. So try to understand. Understanding is very important for your engineering course. You have to, nothing like, like you can mark and commit to memory and vomit to paper. Things will not work. You need to understand. And obviously, like if something goes inside, I just don't need to remember in that way. Whenever like I am writing A B C, do I need to remember that how A looks like, how B looks like? No. It, when it says that you need to write apple, so I can write apple just the way, fine. So I just don't need to remember in that case. So that is why it has to go inside. So if it goes inside, it will be easy for you to actually, like remember in the long run. That is the objective, fine. So anyway, let us take the example. It takes a long time to rub actually.
So you
Yes.
can increase the rubber size.
Yeah, I can increase the rubber size. Yeah. Rubber. So yeah, it's done fine. So let us get back to the problem. So what is the problem over here? So problem is we have the delta configuration given, and the delta configuration comprises of the three registers. So 5, 10, and 3. So let us draw this thing. Acha, how to increase the rubber size? Can you say this? How to increase the rubber size? This is the brush. So anyway,
So Shubham is saying just press the control plus key. Control and
control.
plus key.
Okay, when I will use the rubber, you just help me out. Fine.
Yes.
So we have a delta configuration. So let me draw the delta configuration first. Draw the delta configuration. So this is my delta configuration. What were the values over there? Can all of you see my screen? 5, 10, and 3. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is my 5, 10, 5, 10, and uh, 5 ohm, 10 ohm, and 3 ohm. Okay. So 3 ohm. So 5 ohm, 10 ohm, and 3 ohm. This is what it is given. Obviously, you can write your ohm also, no problem. Write ohm. Write ohm. Yeah. 5 ohm, 10 ohm, and 3 ohm. Now I have to find out the star configuration from it. Fine. This is what it is given in the problem. I have to find out the star configuration. So what would be my star configuration? Star configuration would be one will be in this way, the other one will be in this way, the other one will be in this way. That is what my star configuration. So let me name this as, say, Rx. Put it as Rx. So what will be the value of Rx? Can anyone tell me Rx, the value of Rx?
5 into 10 divided by 5 plus 3 plus 2.
Yes, yes. 5 into 10, that is 50, divided by 5 plus 10 plus 3. Yes. What is the result? What is the result? Can you just calculate it and let me know? Do it by yourself. Maybe there are some calculation mistakes in the book, but that's fine. You just do it by yourself. This is going to be
2.7.
how much?
2.7.
2.7. Okay. So it's 2.7. So it's 2.7. 2.7. Now we have to find out this one also. Just in the similar way. Let's say this is Ry. What would be the value of Ry?
So 3 into 10 by 5 plus 10 plus 3.
Yes. 3 into 10. What would be the calculation values? This is 2.7, not 27. So it's 2.7.
So 1.66.
1.66. Fine. 1.66. So what would be the value of yesterday? Remember, I was
So
talking about
0.6.
super. Yeah, I was talking about superimposing. This is what I am trying to say. You are superimposing. So it is my RZ. RZ. So what would be the value of RZ?
0.833.
Wait. 0.0
833.
0.833. Is that okay what I wrote? Fine. So this is my delta configuration given, so you can find out the star configuration, isn't it? Is it okay with everyone? Any doubt with anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we'll just do the reverse process. So I have my star configuration given. Let me find out this one, the delta configuration. So let me rub it out, or let me rub it out. Yeah. Can you just help me with this? How to enhance this rubber size? Can anyone? If I just have the, can you control what you said?
So
Plus key.
control on the plus key.
Control plus control
Plus
and plus
key of
key. Okay,
keyboard.
okay, okay, okay,
Control on the
okay, okay. Plus key, control plus key. Fine. No, it's not happening. Control plus key.
So press
Anyway,
it continuously.
yeah, I have done that. I have done that. We should just do the reverse thing. It's not happening actually.
Sir, you can just select the whole area and then crop or delete.
Oh, it will take time. That I thought of, but it will take time. Anyway, it's not happening. Control plus key is not working. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we have this Rx, Ry, and Rz. So we are supposed to get back to the original problem. And can anyone start telling me or helping me how to do it? Because this formula also I discussed yesterday. Let's say my Rx, Ry, and Rz is given. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to find out this resistive value. Okay. So what would be the value of this resistance? This resistance. What would be the value of this resistance?
Sir,
This one,
RZ plus RY
plus RY
plus
plus,
RZ into RY divided by RX.
yes, exactly. If you do this, are you getting the same value? I mean, can we go back to the original problem? Just check it out by yourself. Just check it out. Are we getting the same value? I think your this value should be 3, I think. No? This value, if I can just go back to the figure, yeah, I think it would be 3. Are you getting the same value?
Yes, sir.
Getting the same value. So what would the value? It's coming?
3 point.
3. Yeah, that point would come because we have done a lot of approximations over here, isn't it? That is why that point would come. But overall, if we just approximate that, it's 3
Exact 3.
points.
Yes, sir.
Exact 3.
RX is coming 10. Sir, it is correct, sir.
It is correct, okay?
RX.
So,
I have calculated for RX.
oh, you have calculated for Rx. So you are
Hmm.
getting 10. Fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 10
Okay,
is it is 10.5 for the
Oh,
approximation.
that is fine because that is for the approximation. But please do this one, the rest too also. What would be this value and that value?
So it's come 3.38.
3.38 is fine because we have done while we were doing all these things. Now it's not 1.66, maybe 1.6677, whatever. So we have done some approximations, 2 decimals, 2 points after decimal. So that is why that has come. So that's not an error. So that's perfectly fine. Find out the rest two resistances. this mathematics, because you need to understand, and it's only the values will get changed, fine, but you need to understand this. We will do one more problem, then we will get on to the next topic, just in a similar way. Are we getting back the same thing, that the way we are trying? I mean, once you get, you just let me know. Take your time, no issues. Just let me know.
Sir, RZ is 3.44.
3.44. 3.44 is okay. That means this one. Find out the rest two. Are you getting 10 and 5 over here?
Sir, one is going 5.76.
5776 is also fine. That means 5.
And the other is 9.76.
9.76 is also perfectly fine. So you are getting the thing, right? So this is 9.76, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
9.76 is 10 ohm. That is okay, fine. So we can actually go for the conversions. I think it's okay with everyone. You have your star configuration given, you can move on to the delta. You have your delta configuration, you can come back to star. So these things are clear with you? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will just stop sharing this. Okay, let me get back to the next problem then. If you can just move on to the, not this one, but this problem. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we try with this problem? This is again another similar type of problem, because you see there's some additional, like resistances are given. It is only a parallel combination. See, 9 and 6, this is a parallel combination, and you get an equivalent circuit. There is also a 9-6 parallel combination. You take the equivalence of this, that would be this. And over here also another set of parallel. So you get another delta connection taking the equivalence of these two circuits. Fine. So if I can just rub it, I think it's better to close and open a new window. That will take lesser time, I believe.
Sir, can you show the figure once?
Yeah, sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just hang on. Just hang on. Let me open the paint once again. Because it's better to open a new window rather than going for the, okay. The problem is that over here you have a network like this. You have a network in like this. This is a simple delta network that we have done so far. Additionally, what it is given, you have another parallel combination with this resistance. There is another parallel combination of resistance with this one, and similarly another parallel resistance with this one. Fine. So what you are going to do is that you have to find out the equivalent resistance for these three things, and bring down to a figure like this one. How do you do this? You basically take the equivalence of this portion, equivalence of this portion, equivalence of this portion, and equivalence of this portion. বোঝা গেল? Understood. This is what you need to do over here. Now let us get back to the problem. So can you see the problem now? Can you see the problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. So you just need to take the equivalence of this. So these two are parallel, these two are parallel, these two are parallel. So it's only 9 and 6 parallel combination. You take the resultant of that, and you will have a similar figure like this. and then you work on the way we did it in the last problem. Fine. So can you just give a try for this one? And let me know what would be the result without just looking at the book, because everything is there in the book. So I'm just doing it pretty slow just for your understanding part and also as a practice. Fine. So find out the parallel, because the result is 3.6. You can see it 3.6, but find it by yourself. That would be your practice. Find it by yourself. So 9 and 6, they are in parallel combinations. 9 into 6 divided by 9 plus 6. Please do it. Sumon, can you follow? Sumon, Otonu,
Yes,
can you
sir.
all
Yes, sir.
follow? Okay.
Sir, I
If you
am
have,
doing the numerical.
okay,
Yes,
do,
sir.
do it. Take your time, do it. No issues. Take your time. Initially, like when we were also learning, we used to take a lot of time. But this understanding, once you understand it and if you do it by your hand, you will never forget. And it's not that you have to do any number of problems. If you do any two problems, these two problems, you can do any problem in the examination. Any problem.
স্যার
You
বলছি
don't
RX কি 1.2 ওহম বেরোবে?
দাঁড়াও দেখছি
Yes, sir.
একটা না।
That's what I got as well.
RX হচ্ছে হ্যাঁ 1.2 ওম বেরিয়েছে। হ্যাঁ এই তো দেখো 1.2 ওম, সবকটাই 1.2 ওম বেরোচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ
সবকটা একই আছে।
ওয়ান, কেন সবকটার ভ্যালু এক, সুতরাং ইট উইল বি
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
1.2। হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা, এবার তুমি করো স্টার নেটওয়ার্ক করলে তো। আচ্ছা এবার তুমি এটা স্টার্ট, এই ডেল্টা তুমি স্টার্ট করলে তো, তাহলে এবার তুমি
হ্যাঁ
এইটা
স্টার
থেকে তুমি
করলাম।
ডেল্টাতে ফিরে যাও তো। নিজে
ঠিক আছে স্যার,
প্র্যাকটিসের জন্য
হ্যাঁ
করো,
করছি।
ডেল্টা করো, আস্তে আস্তে করো, অসুবিধা নেই।
Sir, can you show that part, star to delta?
I mean the formula. You want to see the formula? Okay, I will just do it. Wait. Hmm. দেখো, তোমার স্টার আছে, তোমার ডেল্টা আছে।
But your screen is not visible.
Oh, my screen is not visible. Okay. Okay, I think it is visible now. আমার ডেল্টা আছে, আমি স্টার করব, তার মানে আমি এই একটা বার করব। সিমিলারলি এইদিকে একটা, এইদিকে একটা, তুমি জাস্ট একটা সাইড মনে রাখো। এই যে এইটা আমি বার করব, মনে করো দিস ভ্যালু ইজ RX। এইটা যদি আমি বার করি, তুমি এটা RX দাও, R1 দাও, যা খুশি নাম দাও, কিছু যায় আসে না। সেটা কি হবে? সেটা হচ্ছে দিস ইনটু দিস ডিভাইডেড বাই সামেশন অফ দিস। যদি তুমি এটাকে ধরো R1 নাম দাও, এটাকে যদি তুমি R2 নাম দাও, এটাকে যদি তুমি R3 নাম দাও, তাহলে দিস ইজ গোয়িং টু বি R1। তুমি জাস্ট একটা মনে রাখলে সবকটা মনে রাখতে পারো, বুঝলে? R1 R2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3। ফাইন। সিমিলারলি তোমার এদিকটায় হবে RX RY, তাহলে R2 R3 divided by R1 plus R2 R3। সিমিলারলি এটা কি হবে? এটা হবে R1 R3 divided by sum of all the resistances. It's just the reverse thing given. Let's say you have your star configuration is given. Your star configuration is given. That means your RX is given, RY is given, and your RZ is given. দেখতে পাচ্ছ তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
এটা হবে আমার R3, একটা মনে রাখলেই তোমার বাকিগুলো সব মনে থাকবে। এটা R3, দুটো ছবির সাথে মেলাও, তাহলে তোমার R3 হবে, R3 is going to be RZ plus RY plus RZ RY divided by RX. দেখো আমি জাস্ট একটা তোমার করে দেখালাম, বাকিগুলো সব একই রকম হবে। এই সাইডটা মানে R2টা কি হবে, RX plus RY divided RX plus RY plus RX RY by RZ. This one is my R1, so R1 is going to be RX plus RZ plus RX RZ divided by RY. That's it, very simple. Okay, so let us get back to the problem that we were discussing. If you have got this and if you have got the star configuration, if you are going to get back to the delta 1, are we getting the same thing? This is not a part of the given problem, is I am only telling you to do it for your understanding. So is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I believe that so I am just stop sharing this. So I believe this part is okay with everyone, isn't it?
Yes,
This
sir.
part is okay. Okay,
Yes,
if any
sir.
question
Yes, sir.
comes, I think you will be able to answer, isn't it? So let me just pull out the next one. Just yeah, I have already shared that, isn't it? Yesterday I think I have shared it. So I will just pull out the next one. Is there any difficulty with anyone as far as this portion is concerned? No. Okay. Fine then. Just a minute, I'll pull up the next one. Just a minute. Try to get hold of the book, fine, because the early you get hold of, because this is something that is really required actually. You need this book, and this portion is very scoring also for your gate and your everything. For your placement also it is required. Electromagnetics is, I think the books are so difficult. I think sir will simplify the things and will tell you, because earlier years in your senior batches I taught field theory, but now I'm running short of time actually. Otherwise it could have been done. Okay. 2 minutes time. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can just, yeah. Now we'll start off with the current division rule. Now current division rule is applicable only in case of parallel circuits, not in case of the series circuits. When it happens, let's say if we you take a live example, say the way I was discussing the last day. Let's say we have our UEM campuses, UEM premises, and once we start our journey, we go straight towards Narkel Bagan. And once we get into the Narkel Bagan, like there would be one direction towards the airport, then other one heading towards the sector 5. Right. So our UEM campus is the node, because from that position or from that location onwards, we are actually starting our journey. And we are moving in an unobstructed way, because I'm not getting any kind of obstacles as far as my transportation is concerned. Once I reach this Narkel Bagan junction, then only I find that there are two ways heading towards two destinations. Fine. Now, one destination could be towards my airport and the other one towards my towards the sector 5. Now, if I just replace this transportation journey by a flow of current, simply by a flow of current, then once I reach the Narkelbagan junction, the entire current gets bifurcated into two branches, right? Gets bifurcated into two branches. Now I want to, let's say, find out how much of current of the total flow which was initially from UEM till Narkelbagan, how much of the total current is flowing from Narkelbagan to airport, and how much of the total current from from Narkelbagan to sector 5 is flowing. That is what my point of interest is. Okay, my total flow of current from UEM campus is capital I. This capital I gets no obstacle, no interference unless and until this entire current reaches Narkelbagan. Now at this Narkelbagan junction, there are two bifurcations, and let's say the bifurcations, one towards the airport, it's say, let's say I1, and the other one, the other branching is say I2 towards sector 5. I am interested with how much of current of the total flow is actually heading towards airport, or how much of the total current is actually heading towards the sector 5. Clear? Now this is nothing but the current division rule. Very simple. This is nothing but the current division rule. And this is only going to happen because, you know, like these two roads has to be parallel. Now, if we take an example, let's say the road which is heading towards Narkelbagan, from Narkelbagan to airport and from Narkelbagan to sector 5, let's say these two roads are parallel in nature. What do you mean by parallel combination? Because at one point of time, they get bifurcated, and again moving after a certain distance, maybe they will again club up and move in a particular direction. Okay. So that is the basic concept of your, like the parallel combination. Over here, it's also moving in the same direction. So this is my flow of current, which is coming from UEM. Now there is one towards airport, the other towards sector 5. Now as it moves towards the airport, it gets an obstruction, say R1, near say eco space, and the other branch which is heading towards sector 5, it say gets an obstruction at say DLF. Fine. So these are the two obstructions or the two obstacles which are named as R1 and R2 respectively. Now and again, like at one point of time, they again meet and move towards the particular destination. Fine. So that is exactly how this mapping of this Indian Metro Railway is done. Now this is also the similar kind of concept. Okay, that has been done from the civil engineering point of view, but let's consider it from the electrical engineering point of view. Now, as I said, that we are interested with the branch currents, or we are rather interested with how much current is flowing for sector 5 or how much current is flowing for airport. So how do we do this? Now, that means we are interested with finding the branch currents, so I1 and I2. So I1 is nothing but your V. V means the total voltage across the terminals. Let's say this is my terminal N, these are my two terminal ends, and let's say capital V is the voltage across these two terminals. So obviously, whenever they are in it, there is only one voltage source, and there is the parallel combination. So obviously, this branch current will be flowing across this voltage. That is why the value of this branch current will be the voltage divided by the corresponding resistances. Fine. The same thing to be done with your I2 also. The voltage divided by the corresponding resistance. Now try to understand this thing, that whenever we are trying to find out the individual branch currents, we are dividing it by the corresponding voltage. Let's pull up the paint once again. Wait. देखो, this is one parallel current, I mean one branch. This is another branch, fine. So this is, say, can all of you see the board? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my R2. This is my source current, capital I. This is my source current. This is, say, the branch current I1. This is, say, another branch current I2. And this is where my voltage is placed. Let's say this is my plus, this is my minus. Okay. Now my concern is that I'm trying to find out I1 and I2. And obviously this is the voltage across which my R1 appears and across which my R2 appears. That is why I can write I1 is equal to V by R1, and also I2 is equal to V by R2. Fine. However, if you can just consider the same figure, let's say you have the same figure. This is the thing, same figure you make. You have your R2 given, you have your R1 given, and this is your R2 given. And let's say this is the same thing as your I1, and this is your I2, and this is where my voltage is. This is where my voltage is. This is my plus, this is my minus, and this is my source current, capital I flowing. Fine. Now, the difference between these two circuits is that you have another resistance in between. You have another resistance in between R3. Then you cannot write I1 is equal to the same expression. Okay, you cannot write that, because can anyone tell me this, why I cannot write that? Can anyone tell me why I cannot write this? Anyone?
So because potential get distributed in series resistance.
Yes, but additionally, you see that we are talking about this current division rule, and current division rule is only applicable for parallel combinations.
Parallel circuit.
It is a parallel combination, and this is only happens, try to understand this very carefully. This is my I flowing in a, just a minute. This is my I flowing in a, just a minute. The flowing in an uninterrupted manner. This is flowing in an uninterrupted manner till it comes to this point. But over here, it is not the case. It is not the case. It is like it is getting, you know, like there is a drop across this resistor. There is a drop across this resistor. So this is moving in an uninterrupted manner till what? Till the junction point where we are actually getting the parallel combination. But it is not the case. It is not the case, because over here, you know, like it is it is being interrupted because there is a resistor R3 in between. So there would be a drop across this R3 as I flows through R3. There would be a drop across R3 as I flows across R3. I mean, I flows through R3. Fine. But that is not the case over here. If the situation is something like this, then you cannot use this current division rule. This is only applicable for this current division rule is only applicable for parallel combination. This is a parallel combination, but there has been a drop because of the presence of this R3, which is why this thing is not applicable. You cannot simply write it I1 is equal to V by R1. Can we write it V is equal to I1 R1? No, because this voltage is something which is not across. Here we can write it because this is the voltage which appears across R1. But in the second case, we cannot write it because there has already been a drop across R3 before it reaches this junction point, before it reaches this junction point. Is that clear? Can you just take a note of this in your copy? Is this clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just hearing it from the same people, so maybe others are not responding. Is this okay with everyone? I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine then. So we will just get back to the thing. Yeah. So that is why you can write it as I1 is equal to V by R1 and I2 is equal to V by R. And also, as because R1 and R2 are in parallel combination, so you can write it as R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2 because it is the equivalent resistance. Next, as a part of the proof, now also we can write the total current is equal to V by R. Total current is equal to total current over here is simply V by R. Total current is V by R. What is R? R is the equivalent resistance of this. That means the parallel combination of this. So V by R means V divided by R1 R2 by this entire expression. So it becomes V into R1 plus R2 divided by R1 R2. So that is exactly what it is done over here. Fine. Now also we know from this equation, V is equal to I1 R1 and also V is equal to I2 R2. You just substitute the respective values. And you can easily get the value of the branch currents. Now, so ultimately we don't need this proof for my examination. This would be for a first year class, maybe it's fine, but from second year this proof is not required. But the formula is very important. So if we just get back to the formula, we can write, if we are trying to find out the branch current, I1, so it would, just for your understanding, just for you remembering it during the exam time, you can just write it as the branch current I1, that means which is flowing through the first resistance R1, would be the opposite resistance which forms the parallel combination, that means R2. When we are concerned with I1, take the opposite resistance which forms the parallel combination corresponding to I1, that means R2, divided by the sum of resistances, that means R1 plus R2, into my source current. What is my source current? That is I. So that is exactly what is written over here. When I am finding out I1, then the opposite resistance in terms of parallel combination flowing through I1 er corresponding resistance ki R1 tar opposite ta ki jeta parallel combination form kore, that is my R2. That is why I have written it's R2 divided by sum of all the resistances which forms the parallel combination, that is R1 plus R2, into my source current. What is my source current? My source current is I, so into I. The same thing applicable for your other branch current also, I2. When I am considering I2, what is the resistance corresponding to R2? R2. But I am going to take the opposite resistance. What is my opposite resistance in terms of formation of the parallel combination corresponding to R2? Obviously my R1, so R1. divided by the sum of resistances which forms the parallel combination, that is R1 plus R2, into my source current. What is my source current? That is my I. Clear? Is this clear with everyone? Into my I. So this is the formula. Is there any difficulty with anyone as far as the formula of formation of the formula is concerned? Is there any difficulty? Is there any difficulty with anyone? Any difficulty? Yes, no?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, if these will be three resistance, that
Yeah,
three
three
are
resistances.
parallel
Okay,
to each
fine.
other.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Three resistances. Okay, just wait. Yeah, three resistances. So you have one resistance, you have another resistance, you have another resistance. You can have n number of resistances, fine. So let's say this is my R1, this is my R2, this is my, it's very difficult to write in paint, R2. Now these two are parallel, right? These two are parallel. So can we write it in this way? This one. Okay.
So we will combine R2 and R3, right?
Yes, we will combine R2 and R3. We will combine R2 and R3. This will be my
Resistance.
equivalent, R equivalent, my I1. This is my source current I. Fine. In that case, this would be your I1. This would be your I2. Understood? This is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, but this is simple. But the problem is that did all of you understand this? Because if there would be a resistance in between, there would be a resistance in between. This will not be applicable. Is this part understood? If you have a resistance in between, this will not be applicable. This will not be applicable. This portion you understood though? Because
Yes,
you
sir.
Yes,
see,
sir.
whatever drop you have, whatever drop you have, whatever drop you have across this terminal, you will have the same, whatever drop. Let's extend this wire, it will be easy for you to understand. Let's extend this wire. These are wires, fine, which we use in the lab. Whatever drop you have, let's say this is my V, this is my V. Whatever drop you have across these two terminals, you have the same drop over here because there is no change. There is no change. You have the same drop over here. There is no change. There is no change. The same drop across here also. The same drop across here. The same drop across here. And the same drop across here. But if we have a drop across V1, V over here, because there is a resistance here, you will not get the same drop across here. You will get some other drop, let's say V1, where you can write this V is not equal to V1, because there will already be a drop over here. That is why we will not get the same drop. Is that clear? এটা বুঝতে পেরেছো তো?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can take a break now. So we will get back at 1 o'clock or maybe 1:05 maybe. Okay. You take a break. So we will meet after the break. Fine. And we will take the attendance. As of now, like if you can ask any question, any concern, if you want to have, you can tell me now. I think that the link that was given was different, isn't it? Yeah, I will try to find out a single link which will actually work. In fact, I will not be taking any of your classes this time because I don't have any time. From Ornov sir has gone for a workshop today. That is why he could not take. He will take, and he is a very good teacher, so no issues with that. Even then, if you have any problem, you can just like give me a ring and talk to me. No issues, fine. So that will not be a constraint. You try. We will definitely try to take care of all the issues. No problem. And try to get into the habit of practicing the problems, and also like you have to learn one coding also, so preferably Python, because in electrical engineering it was not the kind of like the syllabus that was taught maybe say 10 years back. It has been a change. Man is writing what? Let me check. He has written something in the chat box. For any topic, we can contact you. Yeah, sure, you can contact me. You can contact me. Yeah. So that is what. So you need to have a very good practicing habit. So this is the practicing habit. You just start doing all these problems. Don't just keep it to yourself. Like during the exam time, things are manageable. Trust me, it will not be manageable. Fine. So you keep on practicing, and you try to try to build your proficiency in any one coding language, because this electrical engineering, there has been a lot of changes. So we will not make you a computer engineer, but we will try to implement all the electrical applications through coding, because there has been a drastic change in the industry. So things are being automated. But unless and until you know the physics, unless and until you know the electrical background, unless and until you know how it operates or how the mathematics actually works, you will not be able to code. That is why in every industry, the requirement of this electrical engineers is is increasing very much. If you just talk of the computer science engineers, they know coding, I understand, but since they don't know, they don't have any idea about the domain knowledge, they will not be able to program, right? You need to have the domain knowledge, as well also you have to have the coding knowledge also, then you can go for the automation. If you have the coding knowledge and you don't have the domain knowledge, I being an electrical engineer, I will tell you, okay, you just do this coding, that coding, you can just go for this kind of automation, but you will not be able to code that. That will be a kind of manual kind of thing. You will not be able to code. Obviously, ধরো আমি একটা রোবট কে একটা অটোমেশন করছি, আমি রোবটের ফিজিক্সটা যদি না জানি, if I don't know how the robot works, if I don't know how the engineering works in robot, how can I give and implement an automation in the robot? Only coding will not do. That is why I am saying this electrical engineering has gained its importance. Understood? All over the world, in the Western countries, you will see that there is no computer science department. All you will see is in the electrical engineering department, and everything falls under electrical engineering department. Fine. So we will discuss all these things later on. As of now, you just start off with this and try to like plan up, maybe not in this semester, because this is your familiarity, you will become familiar with the subjects and all those things. So maybe from the next semester onwards, try to learn the Python. That only single language will do. You don't have to learn anything else, only Python. That's it. Okay, so you take a break now. We'll get back at 1:10 maybe. Okay, take a break.